Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Red Dawn. My name is Kiri, and in this video, we're not talking about Liverpool, we're not talking about football or sport or general. As you can tell with the title of the video, as an Australian myself, I believe it's the right thing for me to do to talk about this, and it is what has happened in this country a few days ago. On the 14th of December, a mass shooting took place at a Hanukkah celebration in Bondi Beach in Sydney. The attack happened in the late afternoon during a Jewish community celebration. Sadly, 15 people have lost their lives, including a 10-year-old girl who was the youngest victim. Dozens were injured, still recovering in hospital, some in a critical condition. This also included 2 police officers. This was one of the most deadliest mass shootings in decades, probably Australia's most darkest day since the Port Arthur massacre nearly 30 years ago. Two men were identified as the shooters, both a father and a son. The father was killed by police at the scene. The son was critically injured, but later charged with multiple offences, including murder and terrorism-related charges. Civilians, including bystanders, they helped others escape or intervene amid the chaos with some acts of bravery. We saw the man who took down one of the gunmen risk his life just to protect others. Just that act of bravery. It just shows how strong we are as Australians. We won't stand up for this. We're here to unite as a country, to help one another, because that's the Australian way. Vigils and memorials are held across the country. We know that the 10-year-old girl is paid tribute today. I saw on the news this morning at the time of this recording. But yeah, before we go any further, we need to pause, because this is not about headlines. This is not for views. I'm not for that. This is for the people, for our country. You know, people woke up that day expecting nothing more than a normal moment in their lives. This was a time of celebration, time with family, time with friends. There were parents, children, partners, friends, you know, people who mattered deeply to someone. Their lives were not defined by how they died, but by how they lived, by the love they gave, the laughter they shared, and the futures they were building. And that was cruelly taken away. I don't care what side of politics you're on, but this is between good versus evil, and it was an act of evil. To the families and loved ones left behind, there are no words that can make this pain smaller. But there is remembrance, there is unity, and there is a promise that they will not be forgotten. We honour those who were taken far too soon. We honour their names, their stories, and the spaces they once filled. And we acknowledge the trauma carried by survivors, witnesses, and the first responders whose courage and humanity stood strong in the darkest moments. Let this moment be one of reflection, of compassion, of choosing care over cruelty. May the victims rest in peace. May their families find strength. And may we all remember why kindness, diligence, and unity matter now more than ever. God bless you all.